in today's edition of the program, Kabra FM's Rotim Sonko is speaking to Humphreys Mvula, one of the country's political commentators.
Honorable Mvula, most welcome to the program Capital Street Talk here on Capital FM. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much, praise is yours as well.
Most Malawians know you as a politician. Of course, you know other things, but I'm talking to you today as a political commentator. First of all, why did you choose to be a political commentator and do away with mainstream politics?
I chose to be a political commentator because I am on sabbatical from active frontline politics. I resigned from the last party I belonged to, which was UDF in 2012. Since then, I'm on sabbatical, and individuals have called to seek various pieces of information on various issues. So I have become a naturalized social commentator.
A social commentator, not a political commentator?
I think I comment on both, but politics is about what affects people, and most of the issues that affect people are social in nature, and I think they also have got economic flavor.
Well, what if I put it to you that you chose to be a political or a social commentator, as you're putting it, because you saw that you lost value in mainstream politics?
No, I don't think that is the correct road. I was not kicked out. I was not voted out. I resigned voluntarily after I did see the signs that possibly the crusade that was run from early 90s to the time I was resigning was going to be futile. I believe in democracy, and I believe in democracy in earnest in terms of filling positions and doing everything else. Then I saw that in the party I belonged at that particular time, there was an attempt, and there is some coronation of leadership, not wanting others that were part of the foundation stone, those that have been within the process. So some of us felt that when there is a problem or there are critical issues, you would try to unite individuals, and then you felt probably it would be the source of disunity. But I don't think it would be fair for you to say, look, there is value in being a politician, because I think whatever I'm good at, I still do in politics. I'm a researcher, I'm a political researcher, I'm a political analyst, I'm a political strategist. I still have those as the source skills. They are not skills by virtue of being a politician, but I have them, I've learned them, I've refined them, and I'm trying for the same.
There is no value in being a politician?
No, there is a value if you are called to serve. Because to be a politician is to be of service to the people of a nation. Whether in opposition or in government, you're supposed to provide service, you're supposed to lead, you're supposed to provide what Malawians look for.
I do understand. But let me take you back on the issue of you retiring from politics, or maybe, as you're putting it here, taking a sabbatical leave. I remember the point at which you took this decision. There was that infighting in the UDF. There were two factions there fighting for the leadership of the party. I remember you belonged to this other camp that was then led by one Friday Jumbe. What if I put it to you again that you lost that battle? That's why you thought of calling it quits?
No, I don't think we lost that battle. I want to tell you this, if you lost some threads of memory. When the former chair of the party, who was leading the party, had resigned, was retired from active politics, he had bestowed Honorable Friday Jumbe as the president of the party. Thereafter, things continued, but at least little did we know or realize that there were undercurrents, that possibly the idea of putting him in that position was not for real. It was meant to be, it was a facade, it was something which was not true. Because
so you were in
part of that system. We are part of the party for a long time. You cannot say that we lost, but we did. But for some of us, we realize that these things have got if you got a hit, they also go down. And there are times when you realize that, look, I think this is a problem, and we realize that possibly the former chair of the party was able to put his own son to lead the party.
Did you realize a bit late?
It was late, correctly, it was late. I don't think the founding fathers or the UDF really looked at individuals as individuals who would eventually look or call the shots or decide that my son or my daughter or my would assume leadership.
But
so assume that these things are transitionary in
you saying that you didn't lose a battle? Because I remember you fought that decision when you realized that it wasn't a genuine appointment. The one Freddie Jumbe had put up a gallant fight, and in the end, it didn't go your way.
No, I don't think it didn't go my way. We had put down reservations in the manner in which possibly some anointment was done. That we didn't hide. Some of us will not sit back and accept everything else where arms folded. We put the point across and say, look, this is not correct. It is not right. If we're going this way, it is wrong. But then, look, in democracy, it's a game of numbers. If there are more individuals who support a different view, which you don't support, you must accept that democracy has worked. And where you don't agree, you resign. That's what exactly.
At this point, do you admit that you lost that battle?
I didn't lose that battle because I was not there to see to the end. I suppose I left and they realized that possibly the direction we're taking, I don't agree with it.
Let's move on. You are now a social commentator. A lot of things are happening in the country, and some Malawians, talking to them, they're confused. They don't understand the kind of a political landscape. They don't understand the current political landscape. It appears like we have a lot of things happening on the political scene. How do you describe the current political landscape?
Look, I think it depends on which direction one wants to look at it. If I look, let me look at it from two angles. Generally, countrywide, looking at the national picture, I think we're going through reasonable, peaceful political movement. Politically, I think there's stability. We are not going through serious issues that were faced during the past years or beyond the past 10 years, where there were my one-ton political arrests. You had the party vigilantes on the streets. You had several other incidents happening, and you saw a pattern in government harassing those in opposition or individuals that is supported. That is not there. So that is positive. If you look at the differences, political posturing between the party in government, DPP, and the main ruling opposition party, MCP, that is normal. You should expect that there will be some kind of posturing, there will be differences because the party in government is in control of the executive, and technically the party that is in opposition is in control of the legislature. These are bound to tussle for supremacy.
Before you proceed, you're calling this normal. How normal is it? Because Malawians are worried that the fight that seems to be there between the governing Democratic Progressive Party and the main opposition Congress Party is posing a threat to the country's development.
Correct. Yes or no? Look, if you look at the fight between the two parties, it is a fight. It is not based on issues. I think political posturing. But
why do we have this fight really between the DPP and the Malawi Congress Party?
I don't know, but I think what I can see is the current wave has its roots probably to what happened in the north, where there was a speaker of parliament, supposedly because of some remarks that went against and people booed the cabinet minister. From that time, you've seen an attempt to embarrass the speaker as well. So that fight, in my view, starts from that. The genesis from that.
The genesis of that. So it's like a tit for tat.
It is more like tit for tat. Then there was another incident where the UN trip, the famous UN trip, where the executive seemed to have carried the individuals in excess of the numbers that would justify the economic standard. The economic situation of Malawi today. So the large figures were mentioned of money that were spent. The legislator, through the president and the speaker, they seem to have spoken. I think even the opposition, Malawi Congress Party, plus others also spoke. And obviously at that particular time, government may have said, look, let us deflect this attention, or let's remove this wave, and let's put them in the spotlight. So you found that government came up with 300,000 expenditure over vehicles. But then this one would look at it that is a tit-for-tat type of political move.
So if I get you correctly here, is this all we are seeing, all we are hearing, like the president's trip to the UN, people saying he took with him almost 115 people, the issue of a parliament purchasing expensive vehicles at a time Malawi is facing a number of challenges. Is it all politics?
In my view, it seems to be politics. politics, and it seems to be politics wanting to cover up what are real economic issues. Because look, if you look at the UN trip, if indeed the numbers that were correct were taken along, where the numbers that have been touted in the social media, the 115, 120 numbers in between, and the amount of money that it seems to have been spent is in the magnitude which is being mentioned. And then if indeed looking at the vehicles that were purchased, they're also asking for the money that I'm talking about. But then you're looking at it to say that these vehicles were not bought by Parliament, they were bought by the executive. And yes, Parliament was holding executive to account for the amount of money that was spent on the UN trip. Then obviously the executive was trying to fight back and say, look, we'll also point out something that also borders on the morality of Parliament, because you don't spend 300 million at a time when the country is in deep financial problems. So I think to me it is politicking, because the real problem that we're going through today is that both the executive and the legislature are missing the point. The country is going through political problems. We don't have money. At the point when they were passing the current budget that we are consuming of, they were aware that the 40% would not be available from the donors. At that particular time, both the executive for proposing and the Parliament for passing, they should have said, look, wait a minute, we have this big budget. We are planning this huge expenditure. Where are we going to get the money? Proceeding on, they decided to buy vehicles for 300 million. I know that it's not just 300 million. There are vehicles all over.
All right, before you proceed, you're saying that both the government, the executive arm of government, and either should call it Parliament or MCP, they are missing point here.
Yes.
Do you see any casualties at the end of the day? Are we going to have any casualties?
The Malawian people, the 80% Malawian people are the casualties. Because both the executive, those that are running the executive, and those that are running Parliament, those parliamentarians, and those that are leadership, they are benefiting from the taxpayers first. It is the taxpayer who is meeting the cost. And when it comes to meeting the brunt of the expenditure or the problem, financial problem, it is 80%. It is 80% the poor people who are contributing to the large amount of tax. So we're saying that ultimately it is you and me who are casualties, because we're suffering. We don't have medicines in hospital. We have doctors trained by the taxpayers' money, but they cannot find a job. They're training to Lesotho. You have got teachers that were trained by the taxpayers, and they cannot be employed. And then we have our children who need teachers. Then we have some other things that the service is affected, and then government is overtaxing the ordinary individual. And these are the casualties ultimately, because we will not get government service and we will not get what is supposed to be done.
Let's move to another important issue. On Friday last week, we heard the president making a speech in Parliament when officially opened the 46th session of Parliament. A number of things have been said about that speech that the president delivered in Parliament. What's your take on that one?
My take is that the speech was concise. It was summarized in a very few minutes, but the president was able to highlight the challenges that this country is going through. He did admit that the country is in trouble. He said, admitted the fact that donors are not near us. Those are, I think, candid views that the president presented in a short speech. Looking at the other side of the speech, for some of us, we are used to long speeches because this state opening of the nation is a critical time where the president or a president of the country is supposed to go through various issues. But besides, for some of us, we expected that the president, having identified the challenges, he would have come up and said, look, this is what I'm going to do. Some of us expected that the president, during this occasion, was going to take the opportunity to announce deep cuts, that is the financial cuts, because the budget that we have.
What cuts were you expecting to hear from the president?
I expected the president to tell the nation that, look, in view of the financial difficulties, in view of the fact that the budget which was come up with at that particular time is no longer tenable, we cannot fulfill it, we cannot satisfy it, it will be important that the budget must be reduced downwards. And that is the reducing downwards that have meant that most of the budget lines were going to be reduced, in keeping with the kind of, in keeping with the amount of money that we can generate ourselves. So I expected to hear the president saying, from my portfolio, from the State House down to every other vote, there will be reductions because we no longer have the money, we can't make the money, but I expect that the president would now prioritize and say, look, we have got to spend more money in these areas. I expected the president to come out with serious fiscal measures that included, yes, moratorium on the purchase of big vehicles, but there should also be moratorium on the usage of these big vehicles, because there are few guzzlers. I expected him to say, look, we're going to tighten our belt. There will be no expenditure from this level, including starting from his office. If you have a convoy of 50 cars, you're going to have a vehicle or a convoy of 10 cars. Where you've got a convoy of 20 vehicles, you're going to have the usage to match our demand.
Do you think that kind of a decision will ever be made by our leaders? Because we are told that Malawi has never been comfortable economically. We are a poor country. That has never happened. Should we say that one day that...
That's why I'm using the word expecting. For the first time, the president has admitted that we have got financial problems. Possibly he's one of the first presidents that have said, look, we have got serious financial problems. Having admitted that far, one expects that the president, this leader, should go further and say, look, we must do the following. And therefore, he has got to lead by example. And I expect that the president should be able to do it. And he should do it if he loves this country, because there are a lot of things that need to be done. Apart from the deep cuts, but generally, he's going to look at the economy and say, certain things must happen. We must prioritize on our expenditure. We must look at this country. We love big and good things. Even when we know that we cannot...
We love big and good things like what?
We love big cars. We love staying big houses. We love buying things from ShopRite. When we can buy the same from our local farmers. We'll go to ShopRite, we're going to buy the Irish potatoes. We can buy the same from Sangama Farmer. And we'll go out and buy water which is imported. You go in the game shop. You look at the things that are there. Most of them are luxuries of life, which you can't even afford. If you go to the motor companies, possibly you're going to find all the big vehicles costing a lot of money. It is costing a lot of money to run, but I think we love them. Particularly, it worries me where those that are employed by the taxpayer are using them and causing untoward miseries to the taxpayer.
Too much miseries to the taxpayer. All right.
Yes.
Now, we are concluding now. We have seen divisions rocking the civil society. There are some CSO leaders that are clearly supporting the agendas of the government, or some seem to be in the opposing side. What is it telling you when you see or hear this kind of situation in the civil society?
I think we need to do a lot of soul-searching. Indeed, what you said is true. I think you find that CSOs that seem to be openly supporting government. There are also other CSOs that also seem to be advocating against the government. And I think CSOs are part of our democratic dispensation, and the CSOs are supposed to speak for the voiceless. CSOs are not expected to be pro-government for the sake of it. They are not expected to be against the government for the sake of it. I think CSOs are supposed to advocate for things that will help the ordinary Malawian.
But look now, what is happening is that supporting the agenda of the government, they are accused of bought by the government. And those that are like opposing, they are accused of being sympathizing with the opposition.
I think, fortunately, some of those sentiments are said by those that are in government, I think. Because if you look at the two scenarios, CSO's role is not for them to go and support the government. They are supposed to advocate for things that are good. And those that are good to the ordinary Malawians, well, they speak for the voiceless. They are part of a democratic dispensation where they're supposed to hold the government accountable, and they're supposed to advocate for policies that are going to benefit the Malawian person. Now, if by advocating for those policies, they are promoting good policies, there is no problem. If by doing it, they are hired to do so, then there's a problem. Because, I mean, if you want to compare the two demos that took place in Bilongwe of recently, the difficult part of it was the other demo that was supporting the government policy. The policies are no problem, being supported, provided they understood what they were supporting. But what became a problem was these CSOs came up openly and said that we have been funded by government.
What is wrong? What is wrong with the government supporting that kind of a caravan?
If the government supports a caravan, look, supporting, financing a caravan means you're hiring a caravan. How do you get those independent individuals who are CSOs that are supposed to be part of a democratic dispensation? Government should have given money to these CSOs to conduct civic education so that Malawians understand the policies that have come from UN. You don't start demonstrating, going on the street before you have actually sensitized the public. That
Is
this
it-
is what this
is it
stands
not-
for.
is that-
And then people appreciate.
Is that not a way of sensitizing the masses?
No, I don't think they were sensitizing. I don't think so. Because look, you don't start by sensitizing through a demo. You sensitize by going out either through a radio or in public rallies or going out and reaching out to various stakeholders. These people, these CSOs belong to sectors. They should go to their sectors first.
So
From there,
it was
they will go public.
it was all politics at play.
In my view, it was all politics, particularly that one of the individuals who was leading that demo, one Mr. Mambara, was very open to say, look, we have been funded to, and that demo preceded another sales meeting that was held in Blanta. And in both meetings, the headline that came out of one newspaper was government divides the CSOs, meaning that the government organized the conference for CSOs to articulate a position. And then in Nilonge, you saw that these individuals were also in a demo that also looked at as being different. I am not for one moment trying to support the other demo. I'm only saying that the demos are part of the democratic dispensation. Those conducting them must exhaust the processes, including civic educating the people that they so claim to be representing. Be independent. And they must remain independent, because the minute they are seen to be pro-government or the minute they are seen to be pro-opposition, then they lose appropriate position in society.
How do you understand some of these calls that are being made by some CSO leaders? For example, for the president to resign. This has never happened.
Look, the truth of the matter is CSOs make those calls to underscore a point. CSOs are advocates.
What kind of a point? What kind of a point are you talking about?
They are underscoring a point that are saying, look, somebody is given a job or is employed to carry out specific duties, and those duties are not being, in their opinion, being carried out. Now, if they want to spur that individual into action, they might be saying, look, you're failing. And if you say you think you cannot meet the challenge of the job, then resign. Because that is simply you're asking
But necessarily
the person to resign. That is a voluntary decision of the other part. Realize that they don't have the legal mandate to force a person to resign. Now,
so why making such calls anyway?
No, it is part of advocacy. If you look at advocacy, what is advocacy? Advocacy is to call for change or to call for certain things to happen. So you're advocating for something to happen. That's something as good actors. There must be a chief or principal actor. In this case, they will be asking a president to perform certain activities. And if they might ask for the president to resign, seriously, they know very well that it is not possible, or it is not possible that the president would resign. But that does not stop them from setting a bar, or for setting a standard, or for setting an expectation that an individual is given a public job, if it doesn't perform to the dictates or to the expectations of that public, then he should give way.
There are some Malawians that view your decision to be a political commentator as a downfall of a once mighty and influential person.
I don't think so. Look, I think people are entitled to hold opinions about individuals. I would not be able to go out and canvass or tell people to say, hold this opinion. I don't think I have elected to be a commentator on my own. Individuals like yourself and others have asked me to comment on the various issues. Look, I have not gone out, I have not advertised, I have not said, look, I'm a commentator, but I've been asked to comment on issues for the knowledge that I think I have on particular issues, or for the position I take on a particular issue. So, look, every individual will be entitled to his or her opinion about me, but I don't think it is a question of a downfall. I'm not in active politics. The best I can do is that one. When I'm in active politics, I'll take a different position as well.
Which tells me
an objective disposition.
Which tells me one day you will still go back to mainstream politics.
Yes, I will. I cannot tell you that I will not. I think the future is very difficult to tell. So, at the appropriate time, in the right manner, I will go back to active.
Which political party are you contemplating joining?
No, I don't know. I'm saying the future is difficult to tell. I will not make that mind. And at my age and at my position, joining a party is a serious undertaking. So, when I'm approached, when that time comes, I will give it a thought and I will seek advice from various individuals and they say, okay, is it right to join A or join B? Obviously, I'll not go back to
No, but surely you should have an idea. You know all these political parties. Are you joining DPP, UDF, PP, MCP, or AFOT?
No, look, I have no problem with these political parties. I know individuals. Look, I've been around for a long time. I know people in basically all these parties. What I may not know is the ideology, specific ideology. What do they stand for? What do they want to achieve? Yes, that's a different story. But when I'll be joining a party or another party or whichever party out of gone through serious thought process, and I will tell you, the future is difficult to tell, and when that future comes, I will take that position.
Do you have friends in this current administration that you do talk to?
Look, I have friends across the political divide. Most of the individuals that are in these political parties found us in these political parties. There are very few that now remaining that we found in political dispensation. Most of them, even in DPP, they found us already in politics. In the MCP, they found us also already in politics. And those that I can afford, look, when I afford the president, we did politics with his father. If you look at the others that are in PP, obviously, I don't see somebody who I found in politics. Most all of them found us in politics. So I think I know them. I know them by first name. I know them as individuals. I can talk to them anytime if it becomes necessary. If I meet them at church or anywhere, I talk to them. We are political colleagues.
Time is up, Mr. Mvula, but once again, let me thank you for your time and whatever you have managed to share with us through this program this evening. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much, Rose. Wish you God bless.
Thank you very much indeed, and God bless you too.